So it's not quite midnight this time.
Considering, you can see the outside.
You can see the
I feel like that's a little more obvious.
Yeah. So we had to be out of the house for a few hours because there was some work being done. And so we
abandoned Dave.
Yeah, Dave stayed in the house to keep working on the Kenobi review. We're like, stay in the editing dungeon. But our landlord's going around the rest of the place doing stuff. So we're like, we should go run errands, maybe go have some dinner, be out of the way. Yeah. And we decided to go see a movie.
Yep.
And there were so many great movies to choose from. We could have seen the next MCU edition.
I don't even know what it is.
Thor: Love and Thunder. You know, it's a
that sounds like a porn.
Cinematic tour de force.
Sounds like a porn. sounds like a really bad porn.
There's still a giant thing of popcorn here, brother. Dave literally wanted us to bring him back a bag of popcorn.
Yep.
So
we ate a little bit out of it, so it wouldn't spill all over the car.
They
if you would let me finish my sentence so that I can say the things instead of you just saying the things. Oh.
They jam it full of popcorn, dude. My God. Okay. So, yeah, true enough. So, we could have seen Thor: Love and Thunder. We could have seen Jurassic, whatever the fuck.
No, because that was at 9.
You still could have seen it. We could have seen the next big dinosaur film. You know, the next.
I've heard it's not that good.
Well, they haven't been good since the first one. We could have seen. Oh man, there was like a lot of just very normie shit we could have seen, and I was
there was that Top Gun remake. Starring Tom Cruise.
It's actually a sequel.
Whatever. Starring Tom Cruise.
I gotta look at it.
Because...
Brandon's good. You haven't seen the first Top Gun, have you?
I know. I don't really want to because I don't care.
It's actually a good movie.
I rode the ride. I'm fine.
No, it's actually a good movie.
Okay.
It really is.
Sure. Guns, planes, men. Sure.
You fucking misandrist. Okay.
What else was there? No, I want to see if I can remember most of the list. Okay, randomly Kiki's Delivery Service.
And also Raiders of the Lost Ark. They're just re-releasing movies, I guess.
Well, they're not re-releasing them. They were just in the theater that we could have watched.
Okay, they're replaying them in theaters.
There was Nope.
It's right. Nope.
Nope. Pretty sure it's called Nope. It's that horror movie from one of the Key and Peele guys.
You think so?
Yep.
And then well, the one that we saw.
Well, the one we saw was where the Crawdads Sing.
Yep.
Yep.
And it was pretty much the fucking movie that I thought it would be.
Yeah, no, I felt like it was exactly what I expected it to be, and I loved it for it. I liked this movie a lot.
It was 50% chick flick.
Yeah, which is good.
And then, of course you do. Yeah. And then 25%
sort of a murder mystery, but not really.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what it was gonna be based on movies.
Wait, no, you didn't.
No. Well, okay, no, I didn't know the.
Wait. Spoilers. We're getting into spoilers now, by the way. No, you didn't, because when I said that she was the murderer, you're like, oh, really?
Well, no, I was like, no, at the end, I was just like, yeah, okay, she killed him, right?
Yes.
Just to, I was just, yeah, okay, yeah. But, I wasn't sure if she did or not, because the movie didn't make it clear until...
It made it very clear.
Until they said it.
Okay, so, the story is, roughly, that, no, we're going to dinner after this, no more popcorn. The dinner, the story, Jesus Christ. The story is, roughly, is that this is in the early post-war period.
Yeah, this is
and you've got
1969?
No, it was earlier than that.
Well, no, yeah, but the beginning of the story is, chronologically.
They do flashbacks.
But, the actual, main part of the story, the not flashbacks, is taking place in 1969.
Yes.
Which is what, I'm just going to add to that, which is why it kept surprising me that people looked so normal, in really normal clothes. My brain.
Do you know that
I know.
1969 fashion is pretty similar to today's in some ways.
No, I know, which is why, I kept, catching myself being Naomi, just because it's being, it's filmed in a marsh doesn't mean that they're gonna be wearing, half peasant clothing. Come on. And I kept catching myself, because everyone looked so normal.
Jesus Christ, Naomi. Okay, so, there was, the TLDR of the story is, this is just after World War II. There's a family and it's one of those southern families that I think they're living in like southern marshes in like Georgia or something.
Yeah.
Was it Georgia? I don't remember.
I have no. We're not gonna remember any of the actors' names nor the characters' names.
It's all very interchangeable.
Nor where anything is, other than the fact that they have southern accents. We don't know where anything is.
Southern accents, and they're in a swamp. Okay, so they got a cabin in the swamp.
Oh, it's a marsh.
Whatever.
The marsh. They literally said at the beginning of the movie that
a swamp and
a marsh is not the same as a swamp. They explained it in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just didn't listen
It's the
because you
same.
suck.
It's really the same in the end.
They're not the same.
Okay, so anyway, they're in the swamp, and they have a cabin, and there is a mother and a father and a bunch of kids, and then the main character is the youngest girl.
Yeah.
And the father shows up and like beats the shit out of his kids and his wife for no reason.
Yeah, because he's drunk.
So he's clearly actually. It's not just he's drunk.
Also
I
PTSD.
think he has PTSD.
Yeah.
They only slightly hint at it when he after it. So everyone runs away. The mother runs away. The kids all run away, and then it's just the youngest girl and the dad.
I like how you're like scooting over like that more impactful part of that rather than like taking so long to say. So yeah, they were in a swamp, and there was a mom and a dad and a bunch of kids, and yada 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 yada. And then you finally get to the part where, and then you almost forget to say
it. Jesus Christ!
Everyone one by one leaves.
Everyone one by one leaves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the mother left for. Okay, God, I'm just gonna say it for you. The mom. Okay, so the dad beat up the mom really bad one night, and so in the morning while he was asleep, because. She just left, and our protagonist, I guess, he tried to chase after her, but she was gone. And then it shows as her not really aging that much. I think it was in a span of months.
Yeah,
it was mildly unclear.
Maybe at the most a year.
Yeah, but in the span of months to a year, all her other siblings leave. The eldest left first, and then two sisters who were barely ever mentioned.
Yeah,
and then the youngest son.
Yeah,
left. One by one.
So then it's the two of them left.
Yeah, her and the dad.
And the dad doesn't really take care of her that much.
No, he doesn't at all.
So there's the one moment of kindness where he gives her his old bag that he had from when he was a soldier in the Second World War.
Like a backpack, because she collects shells and feathers and whatnot.
And you can tell keep in mind, this guy's a piece of shit. Right?
Yeah, no, he's a really bad person.
But there was that one moment of sympathy where he gives it to her and she runs away
because she heard the mail boat.
Yeah, the mail boat. Yeah, they all get around by boats because it's a swamp.
Yeah. Marsh.
Whatever. And then so they he's standing there looking sad because that's my bag from the Second World War that I clearly have PTSD from, and she doesn't even listen to him. She just runs away.
Well, because she's a kid, she was excited about the mail.
Yeah, but I felt bad for him because it's very clear that perhaps he wouldn't have been that way if situations had been different. But he still, at the end of the day, he still did all. It
wouldn't have been that way if society understood what the fuck PTSD was like.
They call it shell shock back then. Remember, that's what the boys taught us.
Yeah, whatever.
But anyway, he eventually. He disappears, and they don't really say what happens. He probably just goes out and gets drunk and dies.
Well, no, here's the thing, though. He only disappeared after the mom, who had run away, sent a letter, which we at the moment of him reading this letter, we have no idea what the letter says. We don't know. All we know is that he gets pissed the fuck off, burns the letter in front of the crying girl who wants to read a letter from her mom. She can't read, though. Yep. And, just destroys his house. By just going through all the mom's belongings and burning them.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna say either that morning or a couple days after he just disappeared.
Nope. No? It was actually much longer. She says eventually he disappeared too.
Oh,
the implication there was that they kept living together for a while, but eventually he just didn't come home. And the show never tells us, the movie never tells us where he went. It's kind of implied though that he was kind of a drunk. He probably just got drunk, went off into the bush, and just fucking died.
Yeah, we assume.
And no one ever found him.
Hope. Assume and hope.
So she's now a little girl living in this cabin.
Yeah.
On her own.
I also have no idea how old she is. I'm gonna say 10, maybe. Probably
12.
I
Well, she looked much older than Leia's actress from Kenobi, and who was 10. So maybe 11 or 12.
Not a teen, an actual child.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she gets some help from the kindly old black couple who run the local general store.
Not in town though, a local general store in the marsh.
Yeah.
Marsh.
The swamp store.
It's a marsh.
Literally called the swamp. It's not called the Marsh Mart. It's called the Swamp Store. It's a swamp, Naomi.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're like, they feel bad. They help her out best they can.
Like they don't
also help
take her in, but they do
Yeah.
like help her out.
Yep.
The lady teaches her
how
math.
Math and how to read.
No,
Yeah.
because the guy teaches her how to read.
Right.
Yeah.
Math and how to draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think she partially knew how to draw.
Partially.
Partially.
But, yeah.
Anyway, they help her out. They don't take her in, but like they help her out a little bit, give her shoes, give her clothes, give her some gas for, boat and whatnot.
Well, no, what she starts doing, as soon as she starts running out of supply, she goes and picks mussels out of the
but like
out of the water, and she sells them to the guy. And
Yeah,
the guy's
but
like, okay,
it was
I'll sell them to you.
it was also his idea to give her gas. Like she wouldn't have thought of that because she was a babby.
Yeah, she was a kid.
Yeah, so.
And he's like, well, I can give you some gas, and I can give you this for the... And she's like, oh, that sounds good, because she's a kid, she doesn't know, but...
Yeah.
Okay, so... Then, there's a side plot where the government wants to round her up and put her in a home because she's underage.
a social worker to put her in a group home because girls being about are gonna be whores.
No, it's because she was underage. That's the reason.
Yeah,
the whore thing was later.
Yeah.
Well, it was. No, she was underage, and so you can't live in a house by yourself. So the government's going to come and. However, like the kindly couple kind of like helps her a little bit. Stay away.
She actually something that we missed was that she's really shy. She's the like definition of a recluse.
A recluse.
Recluse.
Well, they call her Marsh Girl because she's literally like one of those forest, raised by wolves type characters.
Well, I mean, the wolves might have treated her better.
She's not, but like that archetype of character, like the person who lives in the forest away from civilization.
But it's because she's really shy. Because when she tried to go to school the one time, they just like made fun of her as kids do. And we're gonna assume she had like back then extreme social anxiety, so just lived alone.
Well,
in a
also
marsh.
because they were all like they were in a civilization. She's walking in with like dirty feet, doesn't have shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she just runs away. Yeah. So she doesn't go to school.
Yeah.
When she gets a little bit older.
Yep.
Another local swamp kid.
He's not a swamp kid.
Okay. There are other people.
He just likes being in the swamp.
There are other people who live out in the swamp.
Sort of.
They like have houses, but they go into town more often because they're actually part of civilization. They just have like a house on the edge of the swamp.
Yeah.
And there's one kid who likes boating around and fishing and stuff. And they talk a bunch.
Yeah.
And they become like childhood friends.
Oh, his name's Tate. And her name's Kaya.
Right.
I just remembered
Tate
that.
and Kaya, yes.
Tate and Kaya.
And the normal love story ensues.
Yes.
Where they're childhood friends.
They're childhood friends. He teaches her how to read.
And write when they're teenagers.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And teaches her about biology and like just biology. I'm not gonna say all science. It's just biology related science.
It does seem to be.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
but that's all she's interested in.
But later in the movie, she talks about physics though, because she describes how like the sun comes through the atmosphere and then like hits the particles and makes the sky blue.
I want to point out that that's gonna not biology, but is part like of biology, because without the sun we'd all be dead.
Yeah.
So just the stuff that she's interested in.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I would rather be dead than be with you right now. So.
Okay. So they have their like the first act of the movie is flashing back from the present. We'll talk about the present in a minute.
Yeah.
But it's flashing back from the present. And in the first act is basically her growing up and then hanging out with the guys as a teenager.
Yeah.
Learning how to read and write, and she's drawing.
Yeah.
And she gets like inspired to maybe make a book.
No.
Well, he gives her the list.
Yeah, but she doesn't get inspired to make the book. It's his idea. Anyway, she can draw really well. She can draw everything super realistically because she spends so much fucking time seeing the wildlife, and that's what she's interested in, being a part of nature.
And she can describe the life cycles of various animals that most people don't know because
the whole thing is like them slowly falling in love while he teaches her civilized science things. But that she has a really good knack for because she's already interested in it. Yes.
Well, at the very end of the movie, she's called a naturalist, which is what these people who do this, and they're called naturalists.
Yes.
Yeah.
So. The end of the first act, not the present, but the end of the first act for the past is him leaving.
Hold on, you skipped over the main part. The earlier thing. Okay, Jesus Christ, Naomi. You can't complain about me skipping when you're a big old skipster yourself.
Okay, fine. I'm not gonna say end. The end of this romance part that we're talking about.
No, there's something important to talk about before that.
Fine, go ahead.
Okay.
Sure.
You literally mentioned it and then chastised me for getting it wrong and then didn't describe what it was. It's
Fine.
the moment where he shows up and he says, here's a list of publishers. You should try to turn all of this stuff that you have into a book and get it published. And she's like, well, that's an idea. Then folds it up and puts it away for 5 years. Doesn't do it.
Yes, but I was literally getting to that.
You
God,
didn't-
you fucking
No,
suck.
you
I
didn't.
was literally getting to it. Okay, can I just say my sentence? Can I just say my sentence
go
so
ahead,
you can see?
Go.
Okay, so the end of the romance arc for Kaya and Tate is that he has to go off to college, who's surprised, and that he is like kind of abandoning her a bit. So they spend like one last night together. He promises to come back from college and he gives her this list of publishers to be like, you're so good at drawing and all your pictures are so realistic. Like you can probably get this made into a book and have money.
Have those two things switched.
And have money. No, they were, because that was at the end. That was their last night together that he gave her that list. We just watched this.
Was it? I'm pretty sure it was a little bit earlier.
No, because that's why he gave her the list, because he wanted to go out.
He wanted her to be self-sufficient before.
Yes.
Because he was leaving. Yes.
Yes,
okay.
He wanted her to find a way to make money, because the only way she was making money was selling fucking mussels to the convenience store.
Yes.
Yes.
The convenience store.
I'm gonna call it a convenience store because that's what it is. It's a convenience store.
Fucking 7-Eleven in the
It's a 7-Eleven in the marsh.
Okay, so he says, well, I'll be back for July 4th because July 4th, you can go out into the marsh and we can watch the fireworks. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
So she like puts on like one of her mom's old dresses or something. She puts on like
No, it was a new dress from the church donation bin that
right.
the nice old black lady gave her.
Yep, but it was her mom's old lipstick, because you said, oh, that's probably pretty old.
Yeah.
You said that, you're like, it's not gonna. It's like, it's probably fine.
One of the few things the dad didn't burn.
Yeah. Well, I think it was like hidden in like a little box or something, but he probably just missed it. But anyway, she gets all tarted up, goes out into the beach.
Yeah.
And then Tate doesn't show.
Of course, doesn't show up.
No, he doesn't show.
Yeah.
And she cries, and she's like, oh,
I'm lonely.
I knew he would forget about me in the big city.
Yep. And then.
Which he did.
Flash forward 5 years.
Not exactly 5 years. No, not yet.
No, not yet. But like
but that is the end of the first act. Yeah, it's like when they're romantic. Okay, and then she meets guy number 2, named Chase. That's his name. You always
our antagonist.
And Chase, like he
sucks.
He sucks. He does. At the end of the day, he does. Like,
but I already knew he was gonna suck. Like
it was obvious.
He sucked. Okay, he was the whole town. When we finally get to the present, the whole town kept referring to him as the star quarterback.
Was he a quarterback?
Yes.
I missed that part.
They subtly referenced it when he was playing football on the beach when they first locked eyes.
They were playing volleyball.
No, they were playing football.
I thought I saw a net.
No. We did not watch the same movie, apparently.
I wanted to watch Thor: Love and Thunder.
You wanted to watch a porn in the theater?
The romance with Chase begins, and he's a bit, he's pushy. He tries to fuck her on the first picnic.
The first, like, he's just like, hey, I'm Chase.
Let me carry your bag.
Let me carry your bag. You want to go out for a picnic on my boat?
And then they go, and then he tries to fuck her.
He tries to fuck her, like, immediately. And she's just like, I know you think I'm trash, but I'm better than a picnic, which I thought was a fucking bomb-ass line. Bomb-ass line.
I don't think bomb-ass is a bomb-ass phrase, Naomi.
Totally
is. You fucking zoomer. Okay, so. But then he's like, okay, fine, you know what? Fair enough. I'm sorry, let me make it up to you. How about I actually have a real relationship with you instead of just trying to fuck you on the first date? And then she's like,
to summarize a lot of their,
Yeah, and she's like, well, maybe. So they give it a shot.
Yeah.
And okay, so there's a bit where he says, none of my friends know who the real me is, and I can only really be me around you. I can only really indulge in these, things that are not socially acceptable when I'm with you.
Yeah.
I have to pretend to be that star quarterback, popular guy.
Yeah. And he didn't really look like a star quarterback, did he?
Kind of, actually. Now that I think of it. But the point is that I think that was true. I don't think that was a ploy by him. I think he actually
I think
deep
he
down
felt that way. Yeah.
He actually was like, I don't like being the person that I am.
Yeah.
And so I like going to see you because I can be someone new.
See, that's the thing. I hate Chase but like
He was very pushy.
Yeah, no, but like his character, the way it was written was really good because like
But he wasn't all evil.
You hate him, but then like you empathize and understand because like he's living a life he's not fully happy with and feels like he has to be fake around people. Like it's hard, but then he can be free with this other free, this free person who's just living on a marsh, living their life.
Yeah.
But
here's the thing, like it's easy to empathize with him, and to even in some way maybe like when you were like say a general you, not you or I.
Yeah.
Like when you were say younger, more mature, to even empathize with that, where like you have to be a certain person around your friend, and then with someone else you can be more sincere.
Yeah.
But the point of that kind of story is that there eventually comes you can enjoy that for a while, but there comes a moment where you have to choose, and you have to say, well, listen, either I'm going to be the person that I am publicly, or I am going to make the choice to be, and then sacrifice one or the other. And then Chase doesn't. He just wants them both.
Yeah.
Which leads to like the attempted rape scene.
Yeah, which we both knew was going to happen because of course it did. Because of when we get to the present, you'll understand why.
Yes. So he like puts her like face down into the sand, and it's like, "You're mine, marsh girl. I'm just gonna rape you now."
Stop! You missed a part.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. If I can go on you about it, I can go on me about it. Yeah.
So the reason that we discover that he wanted both and couldn't choose was because she met him in town to pick up.
Wait, no, you missed a part now.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. We both missed a part.
Fine.
So these. Wait,
are we gonna talk about the hotel sex?
Yeah, we missed that.
Yeah,
that happens earlier.
No, yeah, but we don't actually have to talk about that.
Yes, we fucking do.
Fine.
Okay, so before the two scenes we just tried to... There was an earlier scene. Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
So their relationship starts. He's like, I gotta go on a trip to this nearby big city.
Okay, no, this was this was pretty far into their relationship.
Yeah, it was, yes. Yeah.
We also have no idea how long this lasted, by the way.
It seemed like...
there was time...
It seemed like months, but not a year.
Yeah, by the way, there's timestamps throughout the movie.
Time skips, you mean?
No, stamps, because they say the time.
Oh yeah, this is 1969.
Yeah, they say the year. There's timestamps. We don't pay attention.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
okay.
The only one I remember is that the present starts in 1969 because I kept being so surprised by the fashions.
The summer of '69.
No.
Oh.
Okay, describe the terrible scene.
So, he's like, go on a trip with me. We're gonna go. You have to get out into the world eventually, and we're just like, yeah, fair enough. You have to get out into the world eventually. So
I just realized he was a hypocrite.
Why?
Because. No.
He said, like, I'm never trying to change you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you have to get in the world eventually, which is actually true. Like, something like that does have to get in the world eventually.
Yeah.
I think the camera tilted a bit. Jesus. I blame you.
Fuck you.
No!
Yeah, it tilts because you refused the offer of my wallet.
Get your wallet then. Nope, it's actually set. Okay. I reset it. Okay. So. We're out in, he's like, we're going to go on a trip for 2 days.
We're on a car trip.
It's in his truck, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, they go.
A vehicle.
They go on a trip, and she is like, it seems like she likes driving and likes rain on the on the windshield. But
she
did
not like what he was listening to. To be honest, it didn't sound that great anyway.
No. And they go to the hotel, and then she's into it. So they start having sex.
Well, but that's
and he's like a fucking 2-pump chump. This guy. He was the
whole scene lasted 10 seconds.
He fucks her for 10 seconds. He comes. And he rolls over and he's like, it'll get better as you keep doing it.
For her. It'll get better for her as she keeps doing it. And it was just like, yep, he's that fucking guy. Of course he is.
Yeah, so, the first time... There is the cultural idea that the first time for a girl should hurt. I don't think that's all that accurate, actually.
If you're good at sex, it doesn't hurt that much.
That much?
I said that much.
I think for some it probably is. Okay, all right, sorry. That was Dave complaining about his popcorn not being there.
Oh, no, poor baby.
You know what, Dave?
I feel so bad for him.
You know what, Dave?
But I do not. Because I have to be here recording this with Dev, which feels worse.
Fuck you. So, they have sex.
Which is terrible and awful, and she's just like, wow, that was... Like, she doesn't say anything, but she's just like, wow, that was fucking the worst thing I've ever had. Like, her face is just like, oof. And then she gives him his necklace.
Yes. Necklace with a shell. You found like a rare shell, and he was like, "Oh, you actually know that's it. That's cool."
She found the rare shell.
Right. Sorry.
He didn't know what. He showed his stupidity by being surprised that the marsh girl knew what Latin was.
Wait.
Yep.
Did you know what Latin was?
Yes.
What did she say? What did she say then?
Well, I don't know. Like, she just like said the.
Perhaps we are also stupid, Naomi. I know what you mean. I get your point.
You're so mean to me all the time.
Not all the time, just some of the time.
See, he admits it. It's on film.
It's not film, Naomi. It's a fucking digital camera.
Film. Anyway, so
That's
there's
even
that.
Worse. Oh, fuck it.
There's that terrible sex scene, which we really didn't have to mention, but like it very much shows.
We had to mention.
It very much shows the character of Chase just being a shit. Even like, and this is actually after all this time empathizing him, and actually immediately before that, because she was very like visibly very nervous when she saw a whole bunch of people in front of the hotel that they had to go check into.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like, hey, no, calm down, it's gonna be okay, I'm here, we're good. And then she's like, and then they go have sex, which is bad sex.
And then
anyway. So now I've fully forgotten.
The shell necklace. So Chase, they're on the beach together during one of their dates, and she's like, oh, here's a shell. And then she gives him all this information. And he's like, whoa.
No, that was from their very first.
You know the shells. But then he like, she takes it and like puts a hole through it and turns it into like a necklace. Yeah. And so Chase wears it.
Yeah.
And
all the time.
Even like when he's hanging out with his actual friends.
Yeah.
He still wears it.
He still wears it. So
and that seems to be like, I think he actually did care about her on some level. It's just, it ended up being really possessing by the end.
And then, I've fully forgotten the order of the scenes. We're supposed to mention
the next scene is that she wants to celebrate.
Oh, yes, okay.
Because her book's getting published.
Yeah.
She wants to celebrate.
The book that took her 5 extra years to write because
I think it was another 5.
No, she said 5.
Okay.
5 years till my heart was able to be open again, and then her and Chase kind of got involved. That's why I remembered it was 5 years. She said that, and then her and Chase plus the book.
So.
Because she was working on it at the same time as they were dating.
So.
Yeah. So her book gets published.
She's like, I'm going to celebrate. She like goes into town to get some stuff.
Yeah.
Bumps into Chase and his friends.
Yeah.
And he's engaged.
Yeah, we find out that he's engaged.
To a wife from the Jetsons, it looks like.
Yeah, not from space, but like, yeah, like definitely.
Kind of from space.
It felt like a 50s
She was spaced
vibe.
out as fuck, Jesus. Well, what kind of drugs were they on in the 50s? Was it Valium?
Valium.
So, he's like, this is my fiancé. And she's like, oh.
No, she said he didn't say anything. He was like, oh, shit. Sort of, like, and then he'd be like, hey, Kai, my friend, and this friend, and this friend, and then, the fiancé, who was actually fairly nice, introduces herself and says, yeah, and I'm Chase's fiancé, and shows this fairly large diamond ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, shit.
Yeah. So she goes back, and she, like, has a freak out.
Yeah.
And then he shows up at her place, and she hides in the bush.
Yeah, but
he's like,
he's mad.
He's mad. He's like, he runs into her house and he's like, I know you're fucking here, you goddamn animal. I know you can hide in the bush and I can't find you.
But he literally didn't say any of that.
That's the vibe that I got.
That's the vibe. He didn't say that.
No,
he just screamed, I know you're here.
Yeah, but the reason that he's saying it is because he knows that she can hide and he can't.
Yes.
And so, like,
I know what you meant, but don't say.
I didn't say.
Okay, whatever. You know what? We're not having this argument. You're just dumb.
No.
Fuck you.
Because you know what? You're saying I'm putting words in his fucking mouth. You're putting words in my mouth. Close it up. I'll just crunch this. I'll just close the console.
Nah.
Okay. So, she's like, oh shit, dude. But then she like gets back to her work, and then he eventually shows up on the beach, and then he's like, let me explain. And he's like, no, I know that I'm your side piece. I don't want to be with you anymore. And then he's just like...
Yeah, they have a huge argument.
And he says, this is when he says, I can't be myself with anyone else in my life. And then she's like, well, that sucks, but...
I don't want any part of that.
I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
And then, and that's when he starts to rape her. Or tries to rape her.
Yeah, no, because this entire time he has been... Oh no, because they saw each other at the convenience store first, right? No, that was after. I don't remember that scene. Okay, so anyway, but this entire time he's been like physically stopping her from like leaving by like grabbing her arm really hard.
It's like, you can't leave, we have to talk about this.
Yeah. And then because he slapped her and then she punched him in the face, which made me laugh a lot because that's not something you see a lot in these types of movies.
And it was like a solid punch, like he was
it made me instinctively laugh. It was really funny.
But then
he punched her. She was fucking like half out, and then he started raping her. But then she was smart enough. She grabbed a rock that was close to her on the beach and slapped him in not slapped. She
hit him in the head with the rock twice, and then like started boot fucking him.
Yeah,
and then shrieked, "If you ever come near me again, I'll kill you."
Yeah.
Then she boats away.
Yeah, she boats away.
Off into the swamp.
Good. Yeah. But then he starts stalking her.
Yeah, he's like going around.
Looking for her.
He's like showing up at her house in the middle of the night and trashing it. And he's like going around the swamp like looking for her. And she's like hiding like beneath the reeds and stuff.
Yeah, well, like in her boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's not an actual, like she's just a person living in a swamp. Like we're sort of making it sound like she's like animalistically living. No, she's just literally a person.
Remember at the start of the movie when she was like swimming away from the cops?
Well, yeah,
she was like swimming like a frog. Like she's an animalistic person.
That's because that's just how people in Hollywood swim. I don't understand. Okay, stop eating the popcorn.
You were eating some. Shut up.
You had already had an extra one.
Fine.
Whatever.
You can have one more then. I knew you wouldn't say no to that.
Anyway.
Okay, so.
But he's like looking for her. And then.
Now, the third act begins when Tate comes back to town. And he's like, I'm sorry for everything.
Yeah, I'm going to say that that's sort of the, like later. Like, I find that, like, that plus the actual, like, trial-ish is, like, the fourth part. Like, that's when it gets, like, the closest to the present.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think the third act begins.
Because at this point, this is all backflashes. All the backflashes? No.
Flashback.
Flashbacks.
Backflashes, eh, Naomi?
I mean,
is that when like you're like posing for the camera and you like take off the back of your swimsuit and you just show your back when you're holding the swimsuit up in the front? You're like, oh, that's the back flash. You're flashing your back.
Sure.
Oh.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Tate comes back to town. He's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I fucked up. I was too cowardly to face you because I abandoned you on the beach.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I know, dude.
Yeah, but that's because he went to go see her because he overheard Chase talking about.
Yeah.
And this is before, you know what? This was before that whole like Chase is a piece of shit reveal.
Yeah.
Is that Chase was like
making fun of her with his friends. It's like
scummily talking about how her eyes only glow for him or something like that.
Yeah, because one of the jokes in town, it's a small town. One of the jokes in town is like Marsh Girl's eyes glow in the dark because she's like
like all how the rumors of small towns go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so like, and then Tate overheard that and got pissed off because like, don't talk about my love like that. Even though
I've been gone for 5 fucking years.
Yeah, because I'm a coward. Anyway, yeah. So that was. Yeah, but like anyway, so that's pretty much that. Tate comes back to town. Chase is like a piece of shit and stalking her.
Yeah.
But let's talk. So let's pause on that. No, because we're getting back into the present.
We are, and there's one thing that you've missed.
Fine. What have I missed?
Hold on, Dave's fucking calling. Jesus Christ. Just. Can
Just. There you go. It's answered.
Dave, you're currently on camera. What do you have to say?
The landlord finished the renovations he came over to do, and Devin's a fag.
Dave, we're eating all your popcorn as we speak.
Well then, I won't finish anything
Just
ever.
wait. Here, Dave, can you hear this?
Sounds like a fat kid masticating.
Okay, listen, we'll talk to you later, okay?
Yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.
Just push the button.
What button? There's no button!
Just hang up.
Fuck off! Shut up!
You're so fucking bad with phones. Oh my god.
All right.
How can a man build his own computer and not be good with phones?
Phones suck and computers are awesome.
No.
Yes?
Phones are easy.
No!
Yes.
Okay. So.
You're keeping this in.
Fuck off. So. Tate is like, listen. He looks at her and is like, Jesus Christ, did Chase beat the shit out of you? And she's like, yep. And then she's like, I have to go to near big city.
No, I wanted to go to some bigger city close by, Asheville, I believe. Asheville, that's quite close by to where they are, to meet her publishers in person for the first time, because, she's really, really shy.
She's like, I can't go now because I got the shit beat out of me. And Tate's like, don't worry, just go for a week, make a vacation out of it. And see, I thought what they were doing is that they were going to set it up so that Tate would have killed Chase.
Yeah, no, I 100% thought Tate was going to be the killer.
Yeah.
Like, after he came back, I'm like, he killed him!
So she goes off to the
oh shit, we spoiled. Yeah, Chase dies.
We already said that.
Did we? We didn't say who died though.
Oh yeah, whatever. Okay.
Chase dies.
She goes off, and then there's a murder. Okay, and the movie.
Of Chase.
The movie actually opens on the murder.
Yeah.
Where they find his body.
In the swamp.
in the swamp. I don't know how she did it. They don't really explain how she did it. It's kind of a problem with the movie, actually.
I have a theory for how she did it. Okay, but the main present plot of the movie is that Marsh Girl Kaya murdered Chase.
Yes, because Chase would not stop stalking her.
No. No one knew that he was.
Right, but that's why she did it.
Yeah. Yes, Dev.
Yes, Naomi.
Oh, God, you explain things so poorly.
What are you fucking talking about?
You explain it in order. Like, okay, the town assumes that Marsh Girl murdered Chase. Next sentence, because she was a jilted lover. The actual reason is because he's a rapist and a stalker.
Yes.
You just explain it in order instead of
fine.
being like, because he stalked her. No, that's not what I was saying. The town doesn't
you didn't say the town, though. Okay, so anyway. The movie actually opens on the cops discovering the body. Actually, no, two random boys.
Two children.
They bike up, and they're like, oh, we found a body. And I was like, is this going to be like that Will Wheaton film?
I don't know anything
where
about
they
Will Wheaton.
Stand By Me? Yes, you do. You watch Star Trek.
I don't care, but I don't care.
There was no Train Spot. Was it Train Spotting?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, two boys find a body in the swamp. And they're like, oh, shit, dude. So they call the cops. And the cops show up. And they're like, are these your tracked boys? And they're like, yes, sir. And they're like, there's no tracks. And then the cops poke around. And they find, they go up into the tower. Because it's a tower.
It's an old fire tower. If
Yeah.
you guys knows what those are.
Knows what those are?
They go up the
tower. And then they're like, they go up there. And they're like, oh, one of the panels is actually moved.
Grates.
One of the grates.
Panels, say grates.
One of the grates. That actually is the floor that's been moved, and like he clearly fell right through it. And they're like, oh, maybe he just came up here and he got drunk and he fell, and who knows what happened.
Yep.
And then the coroner finds they find that he bonked his head on part of the tower on the way down, which probably killed him.
Which means that he had to fall through the tower backwards. No, he died from the fall. It's just also secondary damage. I don't remember how they phrased that. Is that he also smashed his head into the tower?
They said that the head smash was primary damage.
Yeah.
That's what killed him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that... Okay, fine. Whatever. I'm pretty sure you're wrong. I'm pretty sure the 64-foot drop killed him.
I can't wait until we play Phoenix Wright on the show, on the gaming channel, because you are going to fucking lose your mind at all the case. Anyway, so...
Whatever.
He dies from the fall somehow. Okay.
He dies from the fall. He just dies. Because he dropped 64 feet. He died.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Doesn't even matter if he hit his head or not.
And they discover that there's a red fiber.
Red fibers.
Red fiber. And so they're looking around the swamp to find people, and they come across Marsh Girl's house, and they go up.
No.
This is exactly what happens next.
They're not looking around the swamp to find people. The cops are just kind of like, there's red fibers, and I wonder, like, those could be from literally anything. Next scene, literally after that sentence, is them going to a bar, hearing the rumors about Marsh Girl and Chase, the guy who died, and then going to investigate Marsh Girl's house.
Let's go to Marsh Girl's house and see if she saw. They go out there.
And she wasn't there. She was hiding behind a tree. You can see her arm, and then she hides.
Yeah. She was hiding behind a tree. And then they go up, and then one of the cops looks in the window and is like, there's the cap.
Yep.
And they're like, oh. So they get the cap, test the cap. Turns out that the cap that Marsh Girl had matches the fiber on the body.
Yeah.
So she's brought in, put in jail. She has a trial. And so the entire present of the movie is the trial, but they're flashing back to
her
moments,
life.
her life.
Yeah.
But the third act is the trial. The core of the trial.
Yeah.
And so she's on trial. And all the evidence at this point is circumstantial because
all of it's circumstantial.
Because it's fiber from a hat that she had, but they were lovers. So it could have been that's incidental.
Actually, a fun thing about the hat, I'm not sure if you've forgotten, is that it was Tate's hat.
It was Tate's hat.
Yep.
Yeah, he gave her the hat, but like Tate had gotten into a fight with Chase right before.
Yeah.
So that's how the fiber transfer happened.
Yeah. This is the only scene that anyone was wearing that hat.
Yeah. Because otherwise it was being thrown around.
It was actually really funny. It was like, okay, look, here, obviously, it's the hat, because it's the only scene that hat is present in.
Also, the only time Tate ever wears a hat in the show.
Yeah. Like, there's literally no reason for it to be a hat.
Yep.
It could have just been a sweater he liked, or a shirt, or something.
Or a scarf.
Or, like, maybe a scarf, but, like, no one...
It was like wool, yeah, so it could have been a scarf.
Yeah, like, it's the swamp. It doesn't...
Wait, imagine, like, Dave as Tate. He has like his red scarf and his fucking hipster coat, and he's like, yes, I'm in the swamp. So anyway.
Anyway.
they bring her in, and the only evidence they have is she is in possession of a hat that has fibers on him, which could be from anything because they were lovers.
Yeah.
So that doesn't prove anything. Meanwhile, she was out of town. She had an alibi. She was out of town doing the publishing thing while he was murdered.
Yeah. The whole thing is that they believe that she murdered Chase, not because he was a stalker and a rapist, but because that she was a jilted lover, like I said, and that the town believed that she couldn't let him go when he broke off things with her.
Yeah.
That's what the town believes.
And her attorney is like, listen, you have a reputation in this town.
Yeah.
And like, it's not going to look good for you. So like what's probably going to happen here is because you're Marsh Girl and for no other reason, they're going to throw you in jail.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm innocent.
Yeah.
So it goes to the jury, and the jury is like, not guilty.
Yeah, it feels like we skipped over a lot of stuff. It's all in a lot of flashbacks, but like also the defending. No, it just feels like it does. Because it's just like, suddenly, trial, not guilty. No, like, the lawyer in it is, like, really the defendant, the defender. The defendant is Marsh Girl.
The defense is what it's called.
The defense, thank you.
The defense lawyer.
My fucking brain. The defense lawyer is... Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, the defense lawyer is really, really, really good, and I think the one other scene that we see him in, like with Marsh Girl, is when she's a little kid. Like that's the one where she goes to school.
Yeah, and she's like, "You can go to school. Don't worry about it."
The one and only time she tried to go to school, and he was just like, "Oh, you got lost and confused, and the school's over that way." And like she kind of like backs away a bit, and he's like, "You have as much right to be there as anyone else. Now off you go."
Yeah.
Like
he was encouraging.
Scene.
He was encouraging. Yeah.
He was a really nice old man. You know what? This movie kind of like gave me the vibes of How to Kill a Mockingbird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Atticus Finch.
I know
Yeah. This movie kind of gave me the vibes of that a little bit. Like they were kind of trying to do sort of the same story, except she murdered him in the end.
She murdered him in the end.
Yeah.
So basically, a lot of this stuff, all the actual plot of the movie comes out, as like testimony and flashbacks and like
testimony and flashbacks. Like that doesn't sound really good. It's good.
It's okay. It's not bad.
That doesn't.
Well, I've seen so many trial movies at this point. Like this is okay. This movie didn't do anything new.
No, it didn't. But that's the thing, though. It doesn't have to do anything new.
No, that's true. It's true.
Yeah. Like to be fair, I know you weren't surprised. I was a little surprised she ended up killing him.
Well, let's get to that point. Okay.
Yeah. But
so the whole thing is that the necklace that he gave her was gone, and he always wore it.
Yeah.
They search her house. They couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And nobody knows where it goes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the rest of the movie, like she eventually gets back with Tate.
Yeah, they get back together after the trial, after she gets her not guilty from the jurors actually listening to the evidence and not just the gossip of the town.
At that point, it was 1969. It wasn't like the late 40s, early 50s anymore.
Yeah,
Things had changed.
I know.
Yeah.
But like it was definitely like a justice boner, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though she was guilty.
Yeah. So she gets with Tate. They live up until the present day. It seems like the present day.
They live until old age.
They're quite old.
Yeah, they're like because I don't remember, but is this story sort of based on a real? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think it was based on a novel though.
Maybe.
Well, most movies are. I don't know if you know.
It's
I don't even
fine.
know that.
Yes,
like, most
I know.
movies are,
I'm aware.
Okay, so 69. She's 25.
Yeah.
In 69.
Yeah.
Okay. Add 50 years to 69.
I can't do that math in my head. Why would you look at me and be like, do that, Naomi? You know I can't.
I think that's 2019.
Okay.
So, let's say she dies at 75.
Sure.
She dies in 2019. If she died at 77, that'd be 2021. If she died this year, she'd be 78.
And she looks pretty old.
She looked pretty old by the end.
So
it seems like they want it to be present day, the final scene.
Ish at least, yeah.
Yeah. So they're old men. Old men and women together, living out in the
living out in the same place. I don't think they ever actually got married, because there was that one scene where he asked her to marry him,
and she's like, "We already are."
And like she said, "Aren't we already like geese who mate for life?"
Yeah.
So, and he was just like, "I'm okay with that." So I don't think they ever actually got married, but they were more or less married.
I think the fact that he's still living in the house after she's dead means that he has some kind of legal title to it.
Maybe who knows? Who really knows the specifics? It doesn't actually matter to the movie.
Oh yeah, there's a few like we skipped over a few subplots. Like for example, her brother comes back, but he's only there for like 2 scenes. Doesn't really matter. Also, she has to like buy the house technically because the dad owes taxes, and
that
she's like
that was actually the main motivation for her
to get
doing
money.
her book.
But like it wasn't like they weren't important plots.
No, but like it's. The parts that we're skipping definitely like tie in the movie. Like it was a well-made movie. It wasn't poorly written. You know what? I think you've made me watch so much garbage that I actually loved this more than I probably would have a few years ago.
So because we watched Star Trek Picard so much.
No, just garbage in general. You keep making me watch just bad shows that I don't want to watch.
Okay, so you know what we'll do? We'll keep watching Picard.
Fuck you.
Just so that we can come and see mediocre movies like this, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, it's amazing."
I'm gonna kill myself. Bye.
Stay here. No. Stay here. You're gonna beep now.
Yep. Listen to the beeps. You fucked this up, Dev.
I didn't fuck it up.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so, they live together. I think they're married right at the end, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Old
They
people.
live together till they're so old that she
boating
dies.
around. She's boating around the
no,
swamp.
she's not actually boating around the swamp.
I thought she was.
That was a hallucination. She died in the boat on the dock.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
You see, I thought differently. So there's a scene at the end where she's boating around the swamp, and then she sees her mom, and she's like, "Oh!" And then the next scene is she's in the boat. She's in the boat at the dock. I thought what happened was it carried her back, the tide or whatever, like the movement of the water carried her back to the...
I'm gonna say that
that was hallucination.
The plan was to go boating, and then she was going around and saw her mom.
And died.
But that part was a hallucination.
Of old age, yeah. She dies of old age.
To see her mom, her brain started boating.
Yeah.
But
So
anyway, yeah.
So she dies of old age.
Yeah.
And then Tate, as an old man, is living in the house and like, looking through all the stuff.
Yeah, cleaning out her things to send to the University of North Carolina. I think it said on that.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it did.
Is Carolina even a state on the water? I don't think it is.
It said California or Carolina.
It said California.
It said it started with a C.
I don't know. But he's sending it to university. All of her stuff.
University.
And he finds a book. And he opens the book.
This seems to be like a journal / diary-ish.
Yeah. And cut out into the pages.
In the very last pages.
Is a little hole where the necklace is.
And
he's like...
Chase's necklaces.
And he's like, oh, she actually killed it. She got away with it.
No, listen. He doesn't talk. Like,
well, yeah, obviously,
after her last words are mommy, I believe.
Then she... Well, that not just hallucination.
Well, no. But, like, just assume we're including the hallucination in her last words. Was it mom? It was.
She's like, Mom!
Mom, mommy, like, whatever word you fucking say.
No, it was Ma. She's a small person.
I don't care. Anyway, those are her last words. The rest of the movie is silence and music.
No, she's doing, like, voiceover.
Yeah. No,
but that's just narration. She's like,
yeah,
the swamp celebrates death, and like it's all kind of
oh no, because when she was doing narration, because when he in the journal flipped to Tate's picture, she said as the narrator, and sometimes your predators have to be killed or something like that, and it was like, oh shit, she actually killed him.
She did it.
Now,
we saw it coming. Well, I did the whole time.
Now my theory for how she actually did it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. How did he die? Because the movie never explains it.
The movie does not explain how he... Like, we know...
How she killed him.
No. We know how he dies. We just don't know the specifics for how she killed him. So I think that the prosecutor was actually right. Partially. So...
That she pushed him out?
No, listen. About the bus.
Oh, yeah. I think that's correct, too.
So... My theory is that so just to recap, Chase died from falling off a water tower like 64 feet.
A fire tower.
A fire tower 64 feet. Like he no matter whether he hit her head or not, he was going to die. That thing was really high up. You could see the whole marsh from there. That's why he took her up there in the first place. So my theory is that because she was out of town, the prosecutor had said that she took the last bus to get to their town back. Like really late at night. I think it was like 9:30. Disguised because neither bus driver of this late bus or very early bus could recognize her or identify her as a passenger. Yep. So my theory is that she came back into town and was like, Chase, I want to get back together with you, but I want you to come meet me on the water tower and stuff, Yeah. Yeah, but what fire tower? Why do we keep saying water tower?
Because we don't have fire towers here. We have water towers.
Whatever. Anyway. So, but like she prepped it first, so she had because they have the frame last for a few seconds too long,
where she's
in a flashback on a grate.
Yeah.
looks like the grate that he fell through.
Yeah. So basically, there's a moment where.
Like how this is my theory.
Okay,
and
but
you're talking through it.
There's a scene that we didn't describe where they have a date, Chase and what's her name?
No, this is literally immediately after the picnic to make up for trying to have sex with her.
Yes.
It's not a date.
Right, but it's like a second date.
No,
kinda.
it's not, because it's the same.
Okay, it's an extended part of the first date.
Sure.
So they go up there. It's another scene, is what I mean. Another scene.
Mm-hmm.
They go up there, and she sees that like one of the grates is kind of off.
Yeah, because this place is rickety as fuck.
It's all
and
rusty
actually,
and-
a part of the trial was the sheriff sending a letter to like fire marshals or whatever, being like, "You guys gotta fix this. Like someone's gonna die."
Yeah. So the grate is slightly off, and Chase is like, "Oh, that's kind of unsafe. You should fix that." So he puts it back in.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, I could kill him here." And like 5 years later, she's like,
Yeah.
That's what she does.
Yeah, like it you can tell because the camera stays on the grate a little bit too long. She's looking at it. It's rusty, full of grate, full of holes. Like it's.
Well, the grate has holes in it.
Yeah. No, but like
You
bigger
mean the bars?
holes.
The bars have holes.
Bigger holes.
The bars have holes. Yes.
Bigger holes.
Anyway,
yeah. So my theory is that she actually set it up first, planned it for low tide, so there wouldn't be so many tracks because
Yep.
there wasn't any tracks. That was the
wasn't
whole
any
thing,
tracks.
and then like she was just like, I want to relive our first, like better part of our first date.
The better part.
Yeah, and then like had him in position and pushed him.
Pushed him through the hole.
And like ripped off his necklace and pushed him, being like, "You're such like I want to assume that she had like a really cool like I'm gonna kill you line. I don't know what it would be.
She pushes him, then she looks down and just says, "Just got revoked."
That's not good.
You don't get the reference, do you?
No.
It's from Die Hard. Actually, no, not Die Hard. Fuck. Lethal Weapon. You haven't seen Lethal Weapon?
No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I haven't seen anything. You know this.
So I guess we're gonna go home and watch Lethal Weapon right now.
Nah.
Anyway, it wouldn't fit like at all, but it'd be hilarious.
No. Anyway,
Okay.
we're gonna assume she had some pretty cool line about like when she killed him.
Yeah.
But I'm going to.
We're gonna assume that.
Yeah. Well, she's just that type of person at this point.
Yeah.
At this point. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
So
don't-
that's my theory.
I
is
don't
that-
think she grabbed the necklace off of him as he was falling.
I think. Well, no. I think she like ripped it off and then pushed him.
I think she just went down and got it afterwards. Because you can. I mean,
Oh,
the tides
yeah.
don't leave any.
Okay, well that's just me action movie.
You want to see, you can see it in your head, the scene. You're like, ah.
Yeah.
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 And
That would
so-
be cool. But
She
probably
killed
did
him.
just
She
grab
killed
it.
him.
Yeah.
And that's the TLDR. And then he's like, he looked at it and he's like,
No.
My
Dude,
wife's a
don't just
murderer.
say he. Tate
Yeah,
finds
Tate.
the shell.
Sorry. Yeah, Tate finds
Tate,
the.
who they're been together
They're
super
geesed.
old. They're geese. They.
Well, no,
Shut
Tate-
up.
Well, I was saying it.
He finds the shell in the book and is like his face is just like, oh shit, and then she narrates something. I don't remember what it was. I was too focused on his face.
Yeah.
She narrates
shit.
something about how, again, predators have to die or something like that, and then
Yep,
she goes
yep.
on about something else. And then he like takes the shell and is like, well, shit, and then he goes to the beach at night, like
The same beach.
the same beach that, because we say the same beach. If you watch the movie, you'll understand. It's the same beach.
They go there like 10 times.
Yeah, and then there's a whole bunch of, I don't know if you noticed, but there's a whole bunch of more of those shells in the sand
Yeah.
that are just like, you can barely see them in the moonlight and
Well,
stuff.
do you want to know why?
So they would.
No. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because she said earlier in the movie that the reason that the shell is so rare to be on this beach is because
Yeah.
this species actually goes more south because it's too cold up here.
Yeah.
And now in the present day, there's way more shells, so they're actually making a statement about global warming and climate change, which means that this movie is actually political and therefore really bad.
It's not bad. Whatever.
There's more shells.
There's
Probably
more-
because of global warming, but whatever. More shells, and he's like,
So he obviously knows there's more shells. Takes the shell off of the rawhide or whatever it's
The
called.
leather, yeah.
And like just throws it on the sand, being like, I will keep my love secret. You know.
she's a murderer.
Yeah, and he just accepted it. And he was just like, yep, she did it.
I don't think. I think
She
it's
deserved it.
Well, here's the
though.
thing. She didn't. I'm sure she didn't tell him based on his reaction at the
No,
end, right?
no,
But
because like that's what I said. I was surprised because I thought the movie was just going to be like this, this poor, forlorn girl, the town hates her, and then the end of the movie is that, the town doesn't love her, but people give her more respect and she's just living her life, which is, kind of what happened,
Yeah.
but also she actually killed him.
yes.
She just did it. That was
She
just
did
like,
it.
okay, yep,
Okay.
yep, all
Yep.
right.
Yep. And then, but here's the thing. He didn't know, obviously.
Yes.
Because of his reaction.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like she might have told him eventually. Because she probably told him everything else. She probably was like, yeah, this guy's an asshole. Here's what he did to me. And he's like, oh.
No, I think she told him, like, probably what happened to her.
Okay.
She didn't want to talk about it to the cops.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
But I don't think she ever told him that. Because that's why he had such a shocked look
obviously,
on his face.
but I'm saying that I think she probably would have if it were a more realistic story.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't tell me if you murdered somebody?
Not if I had to keep it a secret. Like if I like was like on trial, if I knew 100% I was never gonna get caught, of course I'd tell you. But if I was on trial for that shit, I would take that to my grave.
Well, what if like it's your deathbed and I'm like, hey, Naomi, it's time to tell me about your murder. You're dying tonight, so don't worry, I'll kill you to make sure you die tonight. Like,
then I'd probably tell you. But also, she died in a boat.
Yeah,
she didn't get the chance to tell.
she
There was no
didn't.
deathbed. There was death boat.
Death boat.
Death boat.
Yeah.
It's like the bed that eats.
The boat that eats.
But yeah,
It's like Death Loop.
Ugh.
That game that was awful.
yeah. But
So that's the movie. It
Yeah.
was okay.
Dev says that it was okay. I enjoyed it a lot.
Because you watched Mitch Picard.
Maybe. But like the movie also kind of shows like it's literally about her entire life, from her being a kid to her being like a published book. She came out with like 5 books.
Yeah, but at the end.
Yeah, like they're all naturalist books, just like we said, science. But like it was good, and it also showed her like coming into her own, which was like it was a good. It was a good movie.
Here's the thing.
I liked it.
I've seen this movie a dozen times at this point.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a lot of movies. And it was competently done, and the story was very, very much a by the books.
Yeah.
You know, like you fuck. I could have predicted. I pretty much did predict everything that was going to happen. Like, the first love was obviously going to leave. The second love was obviously going to be a dick. Near the end of the movie, there was going to be some kind of reconnection to her past, so her brother comes back.
Yep.
She's going to end up being a murderer.
Yep.
Yes. Like, everything was so predictable.
Yeah.
It was well done, but it was like, okay, I've seen this. I get it.
Yeah.
Nothing new is being said here.
But like, I've never hated things for like doing it depends. Like, but doing the same story and over and over and over again. I've always hated things for doing the same story over and over and over again badly.
Badly, yeah.
This was a well-written movie. Like, everything, like, the cinematography was good. The soundtrack was good.
You know what the best part of the movie was?
What?
The absolute best part of the movie?
What?
Was when, like, 50 fucking cell phones went off in the theater.
Yeah, we got an an emergency Amber Alert or something.
The Americans have Amber Alert, too. Don't worry.
Yeah, and, like... Well, no, because, like, sometimes it's an emergency alert because you can get, like, alerts about other things, too. But anyway...
We had Amber Alert in the theater.
We have never had our phones be new enough to have one
Amber
of
Alert.
these.
So I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, so we were both very confused until we looked at it at the end of the movie, and we're like, oh, okay, that's what happened.
There's some kind of missing child down south or
Yeah.
something. But, yeah, like, a bunch of fucking phones go off in the theater, and one of them was, like, a really annoying...
Well, that's what
It's
the
like,
that's what the
it's
original
like, Jesus.
That's what the original that's what the actual like original sound is
Yeah.
to wake you up and alert you. Hey, there's serious shit going on.
Yeah. And I was, like, looking around. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay, when I looked back to, like, see what was going on with the phones, I looked back, and nearly everyone in the theater was, like, an old woman.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is an old woman movie.
Yep.
This is, like, that kind of, like overly dramatic, overly sappy, overly romantic chick flick. It's like, yep.
Yeah, I am an old lady.
I know.
I'm an old lady.
The scene where Tate... No. The scene where she discovers that Chase was...
Yeah.
Was actually the side piece.
Yeah.
She, like, runs into the beach just like... Rah! And just, like, screams and, like, flops in the sand. It's like, ah! And I'm just like, all right, dude. Like, on the fuck now. It's a bit much.
She's alone. She's allowed to scream.
Yeah, but, like, I was like, Jesus. I get it, but this is clearly that kind of movie.
So
like,
if you're
overly dramatic.
If you're a lady, it's literally classified as a drama.
Yes.
I knew what I was getting into. I looked at it and I was like, drama.
Yep.
This is what it's sort of a murder mystery. I know exactly what this movie is. And I liked it. I liked it for what it was because I knew what it was going to be.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was well written. It was a character who wasn't like the main character wasn't a piece of shit. You know, like she was just a gentle person who ish.
Yeah.
Considering she murdered someone, but she was like a gentle person who like just her life fucking sucked.
Yep.
through no means of her own.
Fault
Like,
of
yeah,
her
no fault of her own.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I agree. I
her
completely
life
agree.
was awful, but she just was just like, nope, I don't want to be around people because I was also never taught to be around people.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna do me. And, like, she wasn't even confident either until, like, later in the movie.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, she was just like, yep, I'm just gonna live in the marsh. And you know what? She talked about the fact that, because her lawyer was just like, listen, I know you hate, like, the townspeople, like, that's fine, I get it, we fucking suck. And she was like, I literally never hated any of you. You all just, like, attacked me and ridiculed me for literally no reason.
Okay, that scene actually felt a little bit forced.
I mean...
Because when I watched it, I immediately picked it out. This is the thesis of the movie.
Yeah.
You can tell this is the thesis of the movie. And I was like, oh, okay. Like,
Yeah.
like they forced that scene, it felt like, to make the statement that they wanted to make with it.
I personally don't believe it was forced, only because at that point, like, she went from, like, a small child who could, like, barely talk to the really nice convenience store couple
Lady,
owners
yeah.
to, like, a woman who could tell a fucking, like, this was like right before her rape happened. So a piece of shit, a deceptive, lying piece of shit. Yeah. To, like, I feel sorry for you, but I don't want any of your business, so just leave me the fuck alone. Mm-hmm. Like, go the fuck away. You're a piece of shit. You know.
So, I just want to point out.
Yeah.
That we've now gone over the whole movie.
Yeah.
And the restaurant is not open for an infinite amount of time tonight.
Yeah, I know.
So perhaps we should be done, because I don't think there's anything else to say.
No, that was going to be my last thing. You're
okay.
You're so mean to me. You're being like, Naomi, shut up, I want food.
No. That was what I was thinking. No, it's just that I thought maybe, like, 3 statements earlier, I was like, okay, we're done. And then you're just like, but I want to talk about this amazing movie some more. I'm like, it's not amazing. And you're like, yes, it is.
I'm not.
It's so amazing. I'm just going to keep talking about it.
I'm not saying it's amazing. I'm saying it's a good movie.
It was an okay movie.
For what and you said that a point felt forced, and I wanted to point out my opinion as for why it didn't.
Was it worth the $7 for tickets?
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I enjoyed watching that in theaters. It was good.
See, I don't know if I would have paid $7 to watch this movie, because I didn't think it was that good. But if someone, like, put it on, if someone else who wasn't me was like, we're watching this movie tonight, and I was like, okay. And I sat down and put it on.
I paid for it, so that's what we did. So
Wait,
you have no right to complain.
The gift card paid for it.
Actually, no, the gift card only paid for part of it.
Oh, yeah,
they paid for $5 of
it. But yeah, like, if somebody, like, put it on and was like, watching this tonight, and I've been, like, let's say that I'm a kid who was forced to watch with my parents or something, I don't know, I'd be like, this is a fine movie. I don't regret the time that I spent. I don't know if I would have paid for that time. I would have pirated it.
You know what? After Picard, my time wasn't wasted is the best feeling that a movie can give.
Yeah, I guess. My time.
Any piece of media. My time wasn't wasted. You know, video games too. My time wasn't wasted. I'm happy. That's all I want at this point. My time isn't wasted. Okay. We're good. I am satisfied.
Here's the thing, though. I bet we'll see a drama movie in like 2 or 3 years that'll basically be this exact story, just reskinned, different location. Maybe it's a different time period, whatever. It'll be the same thing, and I'll be like, cinema has gone over this ground very...
Yes, I know.
Quite a bit at this point.
Books go over this ground too. I've read this story like 50 times. I still like it.
Yeah.
It's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so Dev thinks the movie's only okay.
It's okay.
I think the movie's, like, good. Like, is actually good, not just okay. I think the movie is good. So, to be honest, just go watch it and see.
What? Pirate it and see is what I'd say.
You can pirate it and see. I'm not saying go to theaters and see.
Like how you're getting the fucking seatbelt on right now. We gotta go, I guess.
Yeah, we're finishing up. That's the seatbelt.
All right, guys.
The sign. It's time.
The seatbelt is the sign?
It's the sign.
Okay, guys.
The sign of the times.
Are we delivering David's popcorn first, or will it just sit here in the car and get cold for the next hour while we eat the actual good food?
I sense since we're going by...
No, Dave can suffer.
Okay.
Goodbye, guys.